Alright folks, welcome back. It is day 3 with WaniKani. Minasan, okaeri nasai. Kyou wa 3日目です. It looks like this is gonna be a quick one for today as well. I have this distinct feeling that perhaps we have to complete or quote unquote pass some of these things before we unlocked any new lessons. So let's find out, right? Teach to learn. I like that name. Hello there. All right. So let's do these reviews and see if anything changes, right? Slow and steady. All right. Nope. That's it. You're also trying to learn Japanese. What's the name of the application I'm using? It's WaniKani. It's at the top or right to my left side. Or this side, right here. Anyways, that's it. That's all we got for today. Yep. So I think this will be as long as I guess we'll be doing this for another 2 days before we unlock something else. Let's do it one more time. 2 more times for like consistency's sake, right? Okay. You're gonna try it out? You can do the for WaniKani. I'm not affiliated with WaniKani, by the way. But you can definitely try it out until level 3, which looks like it's gonna take at least a week plus. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with your Japanese language learning. All right, let's do this one more time. What other things do I use to learn Japanese? Well, I use Duolingo. Today is day 301, which we're about to switch over to. For learning things. For practicing, you can probably use your imagination for practicing. It's wherever you get a opportunity to do so. Media, any form of social media or entertainment. You can practice Japanese anywhere, really. Especially the trending days nowadays with hobbies and whatnot. But for learning, this is our newest project for 2025. Last year was Duolingo's project, but we still maintain that routine for learning purposes. Okay. Yeah, that's a wrap. We kind of did 2 extra just because it's only 5. It's like 1 minute long. You start off steady as other users have already chimed in. The amount ramps up, right? Which is what I would expect as a very healthy way of getting into a study regiment. You tend to not try to be overzealous and jump in too far ahead. Oh, there, Jozo. Alright, so since WaniKani doesn't have a writing portion, we're just gonna write these out as a form of warm-up. Spin, drop, slide, 2, good, big, ren, for those out there. Airu. Probably power. Age. Chi. Yama. Kawa. I. Ko. Kyo. Kyu. Is WaniKani free? It's free to try up to level 3. We're at level 1, so I don't know how much that includes. The project just started, but you can free to try. It's not free entirely. It's a subscription-based game. Subscription-based service. And to ichi. Yep. All right. That's a pretty good warm-up. Radicals. Yeah. Maybe sometime down the line, WaniKani will have like an improv section where we can do some writing. For now, no writing. Yeah, that's it. Slow and steady. I feel this is a much lower entry point than 2.0, right? So moderation. I like it. Not much more to say that I didn't already say yesterday about how one has to review a couple of times. So it looks like they're going with 5. I quite like 5 actually. 5 is probably what Duo intended. 5 or 6 days per a collective exercise. Lessons, collective lessons. So I guess we reduced the duo schedule to 3 days for the elements, and we'll see how that's how their stacking works on top of each other after the 2 days. I'm sure this is what the pips are for. So very quick, very early, 10 minutes, not too bad. We added a little bit here. We actually did that 3 extra times, or 2 extra times. I don't think my prior knowledge have any bearing on how effective, how low volume this is, right? What I mean by that is, if I had zero knowledge of these radicals, as in I have never seen them before, remembering this set of 25 elements for someone like myself, I guess anecdotally would be, it would take up like 9.01% of my day so far. So we'll see how that goes for the future. Bro, because I've seen a lot of negative talk about Duolingo, I want to ask you, did Duolingo help you in Japanese, and how much did you learn from it? 550 kanji, 1600 vocabulary, yes. And if you think about negative talk, then you must have clicked on a negative talk and only heard negative talk, because there are over 14 million downloads every single year, and they make about $33 million a year. So all the negative talk must be a resounding minority as opposed to the positive, for some realistic volume. WaniKani, there aren't any public metrics for WaniKani, but we can compare it to like Babbel, I suppose. Babbel, which is like 3 million downloads this year, 2024, and their revenue is maybe like 6 million. And then everything else combined would not compare to Duolingo. So of course there will be negative talk about Duolingo because it has a wider audience. There are less negative talk about most things that approaches and targets a niche group. WaniKani would be one of them. So if you want to use an app for learning, not really an app, but you want to use a website, because WaniKani doesn't have an official supported mobile app. If you want to use one that has more positive talk or consistent positive talk, WaniKani might be one of them for Japanese. Bunpro for grammar, that's a very positively oriented one. Anki, which is a substantially smaller community, of course, as well. Anki is a very popular one that has positive things to say, but those people are because they speak the loudest. So to keep with a grain of salt, negative talk is not a reflection of a app's quality. More so, one has to keep in mind what the target audience is being selected for and how wide the audience is. Duolingo obviously has more negative talk because there are more types of people using Duolingo. Also, WaniKani is Japanese only. We have to keep that in mind as well. So Duolingo is not Japanese only. So every particular preference of target language will have their own set of criticisms. Yeah. Less focused product. So comparing WaniKani to Duolingo when in regards like negative talk and whatnot, that's kind of tough. Tough thing. Pre-selection is very different. How much did I learn? The only metrics I use, because that's what people care about, is how much kanji. So up to this point, I know 550 roughly unique kanji, and that 550 plus the kana is used for approximately 1600 vocabulary words. And we have covered the vast majority of N5 and N4 grammar points at this point in Duolingo. So that's where we're at. And how long is that? It's about 300 days with a 4 hour average. So we're talking about like 1200 hours plus, right? 1200 plus, and I am less than halfway through the Duolingo course. To give you an idea. I also learned Chinese as well as Mandarin. We completed the Duolingo Mandarin course, and that covers HSK 1 through 3, in my opinion. And that sports about 1,000, maybe like 1,200 Hanzi characters, which are related to kanji. Yeah. You've been using Duolingo for Japanese and Spanish for 130 days straight, and it's only been helpful? Have you found that you found things that you wanted to learn after using Duolingo? One thing that I did use to complement Duolingo is I actively write, I do construction, and also on the side, I have done grade readers. And also I use Tofugu as a source for grammar very early on. So whenever something interesting happened on Duolingo, maybe like a grammar point and stuff, Duolingo by design does not focus on grammar. So Tofugu, the people who publish WaniKani, has an excellent resource for grammar. So I use that, and that's largely how I come to understand what WaniKani is, along with other people I interact with. Since I stream largely every single learning session with Duolingo, WaniKani is the name that comes up far more related to the people or the type of people I like talking to. So those are the people that I tend to trust. So here we are in 2025, which is the year of WaniKani. Outside of that, I have mixed feelings about the people that I interacted with so far regarding Anki. Anki, Memrise, Boon Pro. There were some mixed feelings about like Satori Reader. So the most positive and resounding one was WaniKani. So that's why we're starting WaniKani. Most of the stuff I do online is a combination of my own interests, interacting with the people who I've invested some time and they reciprocated that time. So why not all the other things? The answer is probably community. Being a live streamer and a content, just specifically really a live streamer, one has to be very observant and invested in people as opposed to whatever the progress is involved, right? You can be very, very great at what you're doing, but you can be surrounded by people who only care about your performance as opposed to care about you, right? I only wish Duolingo would put more kanji in the vocabulary instead of just hiragana. How far are you in hiragana? It took me, I think it was around day 200, and it's approximately around day 200 actually. It was like day 187 at 4 hours a day when they started introducing kanji. Agree with you on that. At Teach to Learn, having started with WaniKani first time, it's quite weird to find words on dual rin and kana when I already know the kanji. Well, you have to know it's part of the Duolingo design. So if you didn't get to section 3, unit 37, you might want to wait till saying that until you observe what Duo ends up doing in section 3, starting section 3, unit 37. So it's very clear what their structures are and what their intent is. So the weirdness comes from the initial exposure, what you expect the course is supposed to be. If you started with kanji or you started with WaniKani, it'll be weird until you get to section 3, unit 37 and on. They tease kanji up to section 3, unit 37. And then following that, they actually reset the complexity of their sentences. Yes, I know. They're very simple sentences already. It's actually Just read section 3 yourselves, so looking forward to it. It is wild. Actually, we should talk about that. Let's talk about that, because we're gonna switch gears. It's like, okay, hear me out here. It's kind of related to WaniKani, sorta, but actually, let's switch gears quickly. let me. I want to show you this. I think it's intentional. I think it's intentional. I don't necessarily think they're overdoing it, and it'll kind of make sense later. But I would love to see. I would love to see what happens when you get there, and then following that, it's kind of like this. So, is you know, as a last wrap up, it is WaniKani overdoing it? Because for me, since I use Duolingo, right, and I've used Duolingo for a certain amount of time, this is overdoing it. Like, this is weird, taking this long to introduce these things, because Duolingo doesn't. This is not the pace that Duolingo introduces kanji. No, it's section 3, unit 37. That's when it starts. Section 3, unit 37. I've recorded that. I've made my comments about it. I haven't even reached section 4 yet, and you will be overwhelmed with kanji. And they don't do it this way. So I think WaniKani's setup is more likely going to feel like it doesn't stack as much as Duolingo's approach. Duolingo is like fairly all over the place, as in like they don't cluster things, they don't group things. So it's gonna feel like when you first learn hiragana, right? Basically, you enter the first lesson, all the hiragana is new. Well, it's gonna feel like that most of the time when it comes to kanji, with a few exceptions, which I'll go into. We're gonna switch over here. So that's a wrap for today, right? WaniKani is starting off fairly slow, which makes sense. It's at a pace that will make the rest of the stacking be manageable. All right, so let's switch quickly. Yeah, so it's the end of WaniKani section. Thanks for hanging out, if that's all you're here for, right? If you're gonna watch this later, arigatou gozaimasu, right? So to the WaniKani viewers out there, mata ne, ja ne, minasan. Let's switch quickly here. I'll show you